Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks, Amit, for calling me over. And so I wanted to share some perspectives with you, and a lot of discussions are happening around AI. So what we are doing is that how we are bringing AI into the DNA of the institution in terms of the way we learn, the way we teach, and the way we look at AI. So that is one part. Secondly, how we are preparing our institute to take a effective role in building and enabling ecosystem. That is the second part. And third part is the way we look at AI, because AI is going to be a key disruptor today, keeping in mind the way students are perceiving MBA, the way this MBA shine that is going away, the way this world, world of work, the future of work is taking shape. So again, people talk about digital disruption, people talk about digital transformation. So we feel this AI wave is nothing but a digital transformation of academic world. What we saw during the COVID time, it's not actually a digital transformation. It is making us ready for this digital transformation and giving us a wake-up call. So that's how I look at it. So I see this academic transformation just like the way industrial transformation happened. Industry 1.0, so that is where we started 18th century, 1860, around that time. Prior to that, 17th century. So that is where the steam engine, steam and water power, so that powered this industrial production. So that was more from this your productivity point of view. And also then taking out some of the menial work, must kind of where a lot of labor is put, so you automate that. Then Industry 2.0, that is where came your electricity. Then we saw this Industry 3.0. So that is where comes this information technology, computers, and people started calling world is flat. Then we see this Industry 4.0, that is where the IoT and a lot of digital transformation, a lot of human and technology intervention is taking place. So that is how it has been moving. But what is important to note that Industry 1.0 and Industry 2.0, the gap between these two was almost about 100 years. Industry 2.0, Industry 3.0, gap was again almost like about 70, 80 years. But Industry 3.0 to 4.0 and 4.0 to 5.0, 5.0 has started. So this gap is shrinking. Okay, that gap is shrinking, Industry 3.0 to Industry 4.0. And Industry 4.0 to Industry 5.0, in Industry 5.0, what happens? This industrial, this automation process again is getting human-centered. We started talking about the agency theory. We talk about the people being at the center. We talk about triple bottom line. We talk about not just profit, but how to take care of people and planet. So this is how it is getting into the Industry 5.0, where we talk about co-creation, where we talk about building the ecosystem. So this is where comes the system of ecosystem theory. It's not the I am A is better or I am B is better, but it is the ecosystem of I am A is better or ecosystem of I am B is better. So that's how this competition is shaping up, today's competition. So this is also the way this digital transformation happened. When the digital transformation happened, we see there are three properties. One is the scope. What are the scopes that we are doing? Is it we are offering only MBA, or we are integrating also with the industry? We are also doing consultancy. So these scopes, how many scopes we are doing? Scale. So scale does not necessarily mean you have 500 students, you make 1,000 students, and you have multiple campus. So that is, of course, scale. But scale with a scope. So is it I'm expanding only MBA, or in terms of skill, I'm increasing my student strength, I'm also increasing my footprint in industrial projects, industrial consultancy. So that is the test of pudding, how I'm building my skill. It's just not I have money, what Dr. Atit used to tell me earlier. So actually he brought me into academics, and I'm fortunate that Dr. Atish is there, and present director, Professor Bharat of my alma mater is also present here. So I'm happy about being on this panel. So skill and scope, you got it. The third point is the speed. How fast you can scale up with the scopes. Look at Amazon, the way they are expanding into multiple domains. They are changing the industry boundary. Industry boundary is getting blurred. So academic institution also is going through these kind of phases. Academic 1.0, when that was a university kind of a setup, very elitist setup. Not everybody can go to Harvard. Not everybody can become a barrister. Not everybody can earn a medicine degree. During my time in West Bengal, we had only about 5 engineering colleges and about 4 medical colleges. It used to be so difficult. So in industry 2.0, it is like a mass production, and when you have this like electricity, so similarly, so it broke into many institutes coming up, and education became more democratized. Slowly there are education policy, education for all, education no longer is for the elitist. Similarly, when it comes to academic 3.0, so that is where we see the education is expanding. It need not be that education is face-to-face education. The learning can be stored in terms of, say, like Coursera and all that inventions we saw. So today what is happening is that as this AI comes, then it is the industry 4.0, similar to that what you can say, I call it academics 4.0. In like digital is not consuming the industry. Digital is enabling the industry. That's why we see the Amazon of the world and all these tech companies, so they are hitting more than $1 trillion economy, their $1 trillion valuation. So if you look at the valuation of top 3 companies, then that is more than the GDP of India. So that's how they are growing. And look at more than 100 years old, IBM of the world, say they are nowhere close to this $1 trillion economy, $1 trillion valuation. Similarly, for academics, so it's a wake-up call, and if we don't respond to it in terms of scale, scope, and speed, then half the B schools today will become extinct maybe after, say, maybe 10 years. So now, what happens when you see industrial revolution 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and there is a concept of S-curve jump. Whenever a technology is changing, unless you get into the next technology first, you get extinct. So that's how the Kodak story started. That's how Nokia became extinct. That's how nobody talks about BlackBerry. I used to take pride with my BlackBerry, but nobody talks about it. So similarly, today we already see Harvard is facing problems. And thanks to Trump, so this is the time of India. So H-1B visa and a lot of other issues and a lot of restriction in terms of student enrollment there. So our brain will be here. There will be short-term pain for maybe 5 to 6 years. But India has a dividend, that demographic dividend, more than our average age is about 30, and the rest of the world is aging. So when that happens, and I see the kind of magic that IIT Madras Research Park is doing, I see the kind of development that is happening in the different state governments. So this is the ecosystem that is coming up. It is time for B School to get into the ecosystem. So the moment we look at AI as a technology and get lost in the jargon, like first, how we started this AI thing, like I have 2 faculty teaching AI, ML, and all this application. I wanted to introduce a course on this leading through AI. So that is a flavor of the season. Then I asked them to give 2 different courses, 2 different syllabus to do that. So they brought 2 different syllabus. So one syllabus is completely on the tools. So they are just teaching on tools, how you can do research, how you just forget your systematic literature review that you learned with a lot of pain. Your tools are there. So that tool itself will give you all the Q1 or all the AA star category paper around that subject of your interest. So we teach you prompt engineering. So you give the right prompt, you get it. All the research gaps you get. Now you are writing a case. So now I'm writing a case with one of my colleague, Professor Jayakrishnan, he is also here. So on say Murli's Cafe. Now Murli's Cafe, very famous coffee shop. But now we are wondering that what theory we can build into it. So now to build the theory, so A is that I can always ask maybe, marketing stalwarts, Professor Singhvi and others who are there. And the other option is that I put the case and ask ChatGPT that what theory I can apply in consumer behavior or in coffee drinking, and I get it ready. So it is shrinking that time. So it is basically taking away the menial task for, say, literature review, finding the gap, or I may like to see what are the future research areas on some of these areas, in the top paper, so I get all those details. So what earlier is to take 1 year, 2 years, so that is shrinking into it. But what happens? So does it mean that I start doing a mass production of papers? Yes, I may do, but do I look into the impact? So we must look at that. So this is what now we are trying to do. We are encouraging students, and we are taking them through different AI tools. Like by AI tools, we get confused. What is LLM? LLM, I just see LLM, large language model, is just like our brain, the language skill, the reasoning skill, and now GPT 4.0 and all that, so they can also talk. So we encourage students to create their own GPT, the chatbot. I encourage faculty to create their own chatbot for their course, so that any students having confusion about the course, what cases to study, they should be able to get from that. I encourage students to compare different AI tools. The same research topic, you give the query and see and compare. Compare ChatGPT results with other results. So this is how we are trying to create that awareness. So once you know these LLMs, then what is Gen AI? So some difference is that all Gen AI tools, basically they are all LLMs. But all LLMs are not Gen AI. So I make students understand that, okay? So this is what we have to look at. Now in Gen AI, so from there you move into, say, AI agents. So what happened AI agents? So when you get into AI agents, so Gen AI has the brain. AI agents give the body. So that means in AI agent, you can do everything of Gen AI, but you also do some actions. So maybe single actions. You become maybe in a call center, in service center, you give a query. Then comes the agentic AI. So Gen AI, agentic AI, these are all coming into academics 4.0. In agentic AI, what happens? You have brain, you have body, you have hands and limbs. So that means you can do multiple tasks. So that means just by Gen AI or LLM or ChatGPT, what we do, we think that we learned the tools, so we have become an expert in AI. No, we are just riding a bicycle on a road. So AI maturity comes when we look beyond just ChatGPT, beyond the bringing the conversational AI and getting into the driverless car. So this aspect we have to drive home, and this is where comes the academic 4.0, and this is how we built it. So one faculty comes only with the tools, another faculty comes only with the lot of programming, coding. So now I'm marrying these two aspects and then bringing it up. Now comes this next one, that is academic 5.0. So that is again evolving, and very soon it will come, because in academic 5.0 at the centerpiece is again the master mosaic. So that is where comes all the AI tools. Yeah. So again, at the center will be the master mosaic. At the center will be the ethics. Okay, at the center will be removing the AI-led hallucinations. So this is where comes this academic 5.0. In academic 5.0, we need to look at the sustainability. Academic 5.0, we need to have the human at the center, master mosaic at the center, learner at the center. So this is how we are moving into academic 5.0. So today we are partnering with Tamil Nadu Technology Development Corporation, and that is where we are playing a major part in the ecosystem. We are bringing the tractor companies like TAFE. We are bringing a Trichy-based computer vision company together, and we are trying to see if we can play a role in that, in building a tractor with computer vision, just like John Deere has. So you don't have time, but you can do Google search, John Deere See and Spray, or John Deere futuristic agri kind of economy. You can just talk about it. Today, we are partnering with an IT company based in Chennai, and we give consultancy. We are building AI agents for healthcare company in East Coast, and for banking company in Singapore. What we are doing, we are building different models, and it's a small revenue that we are earning, about 75 lakhs or so. That is nothing, but for a small institute like Coward, so that's a beginning, and students are also, and faculty are also engaged in that. So that is how we are bringing a cultural shift.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay,
Thank
so
you, sir.
all the best.